and welcome to the Stretch Run Special Sunday edition. We were not going to miss opening day at Keeneland. We wish it would have been Friday, but it wasn't. But we're here today. We'll catch the last five there. We'll be going over the late pick five here in a couple of seconds at Santa Anita Park, and we'll also mix in some Hawthorne and some Gulfstream Park as well, all racetracks that we can show live here on the stream. Oldy, how you doing here on a Sunday afternoon?
I'm doing pretty good. Some exciting racing here. I'll just point out for those of you who have access to my notes, make sure to read the note on Lemon Muffin in race 8 at Oaklawn. One of my favorite horses to tell people to just stay away from is running today.
Absolutely. All right. We got Wiz here with us. Scott Free. Appreciate you guys for joining for some special Sunday racing. We don't normally do shows on Sunday, but we are today. So, Oldy, if you'll share your screen, I will get that up. We can get into Santa Anita here, which is going to pop off in about 8 minutes.
Could be there. Oh, no, it dropped off again. Hold on.
Yep. Don't see it down there in the box. You got a sweatshirt on. Kind of cold there?
Yeah, it's still cold.
Yeah, I got my...
Yeah, and the Cubs are good right now, so I got to enjoy it while it lasts.
Here we go. Hello, Alan Hancock.
I mean, for the most part, I think the 2 has a big shot here, and I think the bettors probably have it right in this first race with the 2 and the 5.
Yeah, pretty wide open from there. 5
and maybe I'm just looking at this D'Amato claim on the 3. I mean, that horse has a big shot on the drop of SOR as well. So maybe if you're looking for a longer shot, the 3's the play on the drop.
Let me get the speaker ready. Ovechkin breaks the record today.
I was thinking about the whole thing, though. Gretzky had that back injury, which may have been a back injury or might have been a rehab stint, but he was never really the same player after that.
Mm-hmm. What's crazy is Ovechkin did it in the exact amount of games Gretzky tied the record in.
Yeah.
So, kind of interesting there. I loved his comment to the owner when he told him, "Hey, congratulations. When I broke the record, they gave me a Rolls Royce, so good luck with that." All right, as we're getting down to it there's Oldy's ticket. You want to go through the remaining legs there, Oldy?
Yeah, I'm just finishing that off right now. I'm actually probably going to make one change here, as I'm apt to do, and we're going to reorganize here. And just, the favorites have been winning a lot at Santa Anita. There's a lot of stuff that lines up the first picks here. So I wouldn't go too deep. Maybe you add the speed here for the Doug O'Neill horse. He's done stranger things than win a race like this. So I think that takes us to 67.50. I think that's where I would be. The single is the Captain Obvious single on Nameless here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row. For Mullins, keeps Hernandez aboard. Has 1 at a mile, is tactical. This is not a particularly good group. The second choice here is over 9 at the distance. So there's no obvious second choice here, and there's no speed that seems like it could get away and steal the race on the front end.
Correct. Mike's got the last bit of notes going in there.
Yeah, Mike has some great notes there. I don't know if you saw, but the Turf pick 3 paid pretty decently yesterday.
Yep.
With 2 favorites. Or 2 post-time favorites, not 2 morning line favorites. But it was, I think the card was pretty good yesterday. Seeing a lot of stuff about journalism out there right now. A lot of people talking about that race. So, that's my thought on Santa Anita. I think that, that this could go pretty chalky, or you could get somebody like the 5, or, well, not the 5, the 3 here, or, I do think maybe the 5 in race 2 is vulnerable. There are some other decent options, like the 4 for Glatt, who's a second-time starter here with Frazier aboard, and the maximum security first-time starter as well, that give you some options for some prices. And then I think that the 8 likely wins, but there are some options in race 4 for beating that horse, as long as you don't beat the dead horse. And I'm going to do one more thing here, because the race sim is telling me the 2's going to win, even though I don't see it other than the drop maybe and the move. I'm gonna resist the temptation to add.
Yep.
There, even at the price, I'm gonna stick with the 6 and the 3 bean prices, because they just make more sense.
I do believe Santa Anita is mandatory today as well. Yes, they are. Mandatory
for what?
The pick 5, everything else. It's the end of the winter meet, the spring summer meet start. They take, I think, a week break. They will be out dark next weekend, and then they will come back.
Okay. That is fun.
Keeneland, and yes, Patrick, it has been chalky at Keeneland. We'll get into that right after this. We've got Keeneland in 15 minutes.
Well, I'd say the most interesting thing at Keeneland was that the Ward horse lost in the first race.
Yeah. And then we got 12 minutes to Hawthorne, and then Gulfstream will be coming right up behind that. Yeah, Baffert, apparently they're going to send Citizen Bull there and Rodriguez. That'll be his 2 choices. He said they're not waving the white flag.
Yeah, it sounds like they may have known that Citizen Bull was not fully croissant there, and we're using it as a prep, based on what one of the owners had to say.
Yeah, Bob said he was not fully cranked,
which is fine.
Yeah. It's odd you see a 5-horse field like that where Baffert runs 4th and 5th.
Yeah. We knew Barnes wasn't training well, though. We knew he needed the points. He probably just wanted to give Zidane the chance with all the money that had been spent on that horse.
No, Jay. He's probably only going to have 2 in the Kentucky Derby.
Which may be 2 more, depending on how Tuesday goes. Maybe 2 more than Chad Brown or Todd Pletcher.
Yeah. The Sheriff's horse Baeza did run really well yesterday for Oldy. He ran well in defeat for sure. We got a late scratch here of the 2, Mr. Leisure, the favorite at Santa Anita.
Of course. Well,
they meander up to the gate.
I don't know if there's time to change, but I would just switch the 4 into there. No, maybe not. Maybe the 6 into there. Or you can you can trust the public on the 5 and be done with it too. And unfortunately, I wasn't paying attention earlier today and missed my best bet of the day at Oaklawn, and then missed my double to the second best bet of the day. And they both won, of course.
All right, we got $287,021 as we get out to the gate here. So I'll pull this up. That's your final look there, Oldy?
Yeah, that's my final answer.
That's your final answer.
But now it looks like there could be pace of plenty, especially with.
All right, be quiet.
Pace of plenty. Which is different than the Bonneville and Plenty O pace.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
There's the man with the slow computer. Standard betting attire. You know.
Better than being the man with the slow hand.
I've closed all the apps. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, yeah, we can hear you good.
Oh,
Let's try. All right. So how are things going so far?
Pretty good. Looks like you're killing it in the Oaklawn feeder. There's nobody close.
Nobody close. And I'm shocked. And we can talk about this in a minute after this race. But you can see when you go to the tournament page to enter, you can see the current leaderboard and you can see how many people are in it. And you can do the math to see, are there enough seats? And I would look at where I'm at in that Oaklawn contest, and there's no chance I would enter that contest if I saw that leaderboard. And yet a bunch of people have. All right, the race is on. Here we go.
maybe they just need the points.
Malibu Rocks and Lewis the Champ comes through at the rail. American Glory now backs off that.
Oldy, who's your money at?
Club is fifth, 5 off the lead, and Excel Calculator trails. It's Malibu Rocks leading them into the first turn.
Oldy, who do you have?
Sketchy, who's
356.
down at the rail. Lewis the Champ is in third, and the Gray Horse.
Remember,
American Glory 3.5 off them. Then Gentleman's Club.
You scratch.
7 or 8 to Excel Calculator. They move on to the backstretch behind Malibu Rocks, in front by half a length. Sketchy is in second, now a full length behind. 2 more to Lewis the Champ and American Glory. Then comes Gentleman Club in the fifth.
Sounds like a lot of my neighbors.
And then it's a gap of at least 8 or 9.
I thought Gentleman's Club sounded a lot like your neighbors.
Not much change in the running order. Moving into the far turn behind Malibu Rocks and Sketchy. There goes Gentleman's Club. Gentleman's Club making an early bid on the outside. He's 3 deep. Just inside of him, American Glory is in the thick of things, and down at the rail, Lewis the Champ. Excel Calculator has been far back throughout. Sketchy is the new leader with a 1/4 mile to go. At the rail, Malibu Rocks. Behind them, Lewis the Champ is in the blue silks down at the rail. Far outside, Gentleman's Club. They're a furlong from the finish. And Sketchy goes on, opens up 2 under a hand ride. Gets a little bit of a reminder as Lewis the Champ moves into second. Malibu Rocks is in third. It's Sketchy, Lewis the Champ. Sketchy a length and a half. And Sketchy wins under Jose Valdivia Jr. Lewis the Champ was second. Malibu Rocks.
All right. Well, you're moving on. That's good.
It's like watching a strobe light.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Chris, there was something going on with the video.
Yeah, I'm going to reboot the whole VM. So while I do that, let me get you out to what is next, which will be Hawthorne.
Awesome.
Matt, we're covering some Hawthorne.
Okay.
Okay, well, the first thing is, do you have a Ravelli? You do not. Or you do have a Ravelli, but it's not the favorite. Strange Arrange is the favorite. It seems like a sketchy 1-9 favorite to me. 2 wins in the last 8 races. Best win is against 50 SOR and a 5K allowance optional claimer.
This is so ridiculous to do with this little money in the pool. It's so hard to tell, but especially given that this is the first race of the day, so there's no will pays. And I'm looking at probables where the pool has like $1,000, but based on what I'm seeing, I wouldn't be shocked if the two ended up being a co-favorite with the 5.
And I think
about
that,
the same.
well, maybe somebody in the ownership group put a ton of money on Stranger Range. But I think I'm low key has a shot here as well. It's interesting that Loveberry's there and not on the Ravelli.
Yeah.
Ray Sim says the Ravelli wins. So what's the probable into the next? Here with 1,000, yeah, you're right, no money in the pool.
Yeah, and just, when we say that kind of thing, just for people's benefit, it doesn't take a gargantuan bet to make a meaningful impact. So,
Yeah.
People like to joke, "Oh, Matt, is that you impacting the pool?" I mean, if I made a couple of $100 daily double bets right here, the odds would all go bananas. And I don't think $200 is the craziest amount. I wouldn't consider that pool shifting money typically, but in something like this, you got to be really careful. That 2-2 double, I want to be careful with my words, the probable. So this is not odds, this is payoff, is in the 3s. Actually, it just hit $4. So it's exactly 3-1 right now. And if you were to say, all right, I'll give that a shot and put a couple $100 on that thing would be 2-1 instantly.
Chris, I think we're going to have to go to Keeneland because they're at 5 minutes to post right now, and Hawthorne's at 2, and Hawthorne loves the post track.
Yeah, go over to Keeneland, and I'll monitor Hawthorne and see what we get. If we can show the race, we will. If not, we will definitely pivot over to Keeneland. I've got it all ready to go.
All right, so Keeneland, late pick 5, which is the show here. Thought the first race was a spread. Liam in the Dust was supposed to be running yesterday in a stakes race at Aqueduct and scratched out to run in an allowance non-winner of 1, allowance optional claiming non-winner of 1 here, and is taking a significant drop in class here. Is the second pick for Brissett, is second off the layoff. This horse is probably going to be pretty ready to roar here. And the 9, Justin Queso, Jake has a note on it that it's bred for the wet track.
It's Justin Queso. It's a way
Justin
cooler.
Queso.
It's a way cooler name than that, Oldy.
Yeah. Than Justin Queso, yes, for sure. There is a plotter here, but if you wanted to go more narrow here, I'd probably just be the 9 and the 4. I'm just spreading here more to try to catch a couple prices. And maybe trying to take advantage of getting a price on a ward horse that you normally wouldn't get a price on. In race 2, the 1 could steal this on the front end. The 2 Salted, was placed in a graded stakes, nearly won last time out at Tampa in a maiden special weight, gets a little easier of a group. And then I also like the 5 Plaza Q from McPeak here as being the one who doesn't have the speed and need the lead, who, could come from off the pace and, ran pretty well on a wet track at Oaklawn last time out.
Yeah, I'll just offer an observation from the tote board looking at the doubles. And even this isn't the deepest pool, if I'm being honest. But the money is, so the 1 is favored. The 2 and the 5 are next choices, and then there's a few more right after that. So this is the kind of race I would look at in the next and say, this looks like a bit of a mess from a betting perspective. It Yeah, I guess if you told me the 1 wasn't the morning line favorite, maybe that would be interesting. Yeah, it's not. So, okay, maybe there's some signal in the 1 for the next race, but otherwise.
I mean, the other two I'd have a little bit of interest in are the 8 and the 11. And maybe the 8 from a coming off the pace standpoint, being a Chad Brown there. But doesn't seem to be working overly well. These aren't overly fast works. Was bet pretty heavily last time out.
Yeah, and if you like the 9 here and the 8 and the 11 in the next, those are paying 24 and 17. Those are pretty healthy. I see Chris Couples like that 8 as well. He also played the 5. That one's 9-1. So is this? Are we slowly coming to a consensus here that the 9's the pick as it now goes to 4 to 5?
Well, I think you gotta. I think the 4. I think it's the 9 and the 4.
Okay.
There.
9 and the 4. As we go and look at what that straight exacta is paying, 9-4 is paying 11-1. 4-9 is paying 20-1 in the exacta.
Okay, my doubles are in.
And I think these guys are going to run over each other. A little bit more difficult than yesterday, right, Matt? Where we just kind of ran through the card.
Well, it just helps to win everything you touch. It doesn't always work like that. It was kind of, we only had a couple where we were just kind of like, oh my God, someone did win. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. I mean, we haven't really gotten rolling yet. So we'll see what happens.
I got the speaker ready. You saw Ovechkin broke the record.
I did.
Let the cannon go. I don't have a cannon.
One day.
Yeah, we're working on the cannon.
One day he'll have a cannon.
All right.
Apparently
so
there's huge tariffs on cannons, bringing them into the country. So I got to find a local cannon.
yeah, we're going to go to Keeneland since they're going to go off. Hawthorne decided to go off on top of everybody. Let me get that.
I think Keeneland goes off first. Hawthorne's nowhere near the gate.
Yeah. Why am I not presenting?
So Larry Ravelli.
You're asking questions that none of us can answer, Chris.
Yeah.
Larry Ravelli is now 3-2. So that's I think that was a pretty good call. 3-2 and even money right now on the other.
Goes in first wire at the post, and they're off. There goes Liam in the dust out for the early lead. Ultima Grace is right there. Justin Queso up to the far outside. And here's Paris Lily kicking in down to the inside as they head into the first turn. In fact, Paris Lily from the inside starting spot moves up out of the turn, has the lead by 3/4 of a length. Liam in the dust goes second by 2. Ultima Grace third, a length and a half. Fourth against the rail, a half length as they head off the first turn. Justin Queso toward the center of the pack, outward from the rail in the 5th position. And then Get After It is next down toward the inside, and Getting After It runs along.
I don't know why it's
back
stopped you.
There goes Indeed. 3 wide, trying to improve position from the back. Mad About Marie between horses moves up a couple of spots, but still running 7 from the front. And then further back, Ruth is the trailer, opening quarter 23.06 seconds. Paris Lily has the lead. Liam in the dust is toward the outside, less than a length away, and second by 2. Ultima Grace is third, a half length, especially Mad About Marie. And then Justin Queso. And Justin Queso is going to be wide, about 4 wide, onto the far turn, 4 lengths off the lead. That first half mile, 47.21 seconds. Liam at the dust draws alongside of Paris Lily. These two continue. A tussle for the lead at the quarter pole. Then a gap of 3 lengths, especially is third. Mad About Marie is fourth up on the outside. She is still 5 lengths from the front. Justin Queso, 7 from the lead. Top of the short stretch. Paris Lily is the leader. Liam in the dust is still second on the outside, a length between those two. Then a gap of 3 more, especially back toward the inside third. Ruth is fourth. Mad About Marie is fifth. Justin Queso 6th. Paris Lily, the leader in the final furlong, chased all the way by Liam in the dust, still 2 lengths between them. Paris Lily in front. Liam in the dust, a final try. Here's the wire. Paris Lily to win it. especially
And
third Ruth.
5-1 to start, 10-1 morning line.
No.
Elon. Really wanted the 4 there, though. Agreed, Mike.
All right. I think you've got Gulfstream up next, Oldy.
Gulfstream race 7, yep.
Okay. I'm going to do a full reboot and I will be back with you.
All right.
Okay. So I got 9 minutes. Let me do a full reboot and kind of go from there.
Bye.
I'll see you in a few.
You're getting a decent price on Super Success here, who's the top pick, second pick, top win percentage, and has been very good of late. At 4-1, I think that's a very fair price on a horse that has won at the distance against 20K claimers. This is a 10K claimer group. Doesn't need the lead like the 10 does and have a faster horse here. I'd probably be the 6 and the 1 here. I like the win percentages here at Gulfstream.
I'm going to pathetically confess to watching the Hawthorne race.
And who won the Hawthorne race? Oh, the one.
It's going off right now.
No, I'm looking at the wrong screen. I was looking at.
Right now I'm looking at a poll, and now the horses emerge from the poll.
Looks like 2 is going to win.
Larry Ravelli.
Yep. Got 8-5 on that. I mean, that's a gift.
That is a gift. How about that?
Like I said, the first thing you have to do at Hawthorne is know where the Ravelli is, or if there's a Ravelli in the race.
Okay.
And then you play good Ravelli, bad Ravelli. This is also the late pick 4 at Gulfstream, so we'll take a quick look at that. I'm going to throw the 10 out because I don't think the 10 or the 9 is going to win this race. If I could get my system working. One need to lead 2. No, the 1 doesn't need.
So there's an Aqueduct race going off in a minute. Claiming race. Anybody in the chat have anything going? I recognize I'm opening myself up to a number of jokes about the name of the 7 endowed. Not a word. All right. All right, so what you doing, Oldie? Perfecting your ticket?
Yeah, I'm just going through trying to get rid of the 29 GSR horse in the last at I'm trying to decide if there's other favorites I can throw out other than in the first leg.
Okay, Scott Ward, thank you very much.
Throw a long shot, a real long shot here that it's going to be coming from off the pace. Let's see what the race sim says in that first leg. All right. 9 gets the lead. I know it's going to say the 10 wins, but let's just pretend like that doesn't happen. So the 12's the one that it thinks is going to be coming from off the pace. 12's getting back 2. It's down to 7-2. So you would say that's a sign? Would you not?
I would.
Take a couple shots there. Yeah, that's too much.
This horse at Aqueduct, not my. Again, I don't bet like this. Oh, I see. And yeah, Wiz, you're all over it. They scratched the 4, who was the 2-to-1 second choice. That explains why Endowed just went to 1-2. I was about to joke. I can't imagine the size of the win bet someone just made to make that horse 1-2, but it makes a lot more sense that there was a scratch. Now he's drifting up to 3-5. Okay, let's see what the effect is in the doubles.
All right, there you go, $24.
Nice.
And it's either in race 8, it's either that 6 can't actually run anymore, or on the drop it should win pretty easily, I believe. I do, after looking at the second choice, it's been beating low end optional claimers and claiming condition claimers at Tampa, where the 6 has been, and it got 66 SOR, 70 SOR. So this is a 10-point drop in SOR here. And you're getting top win, top GSR, and top SOR, which wins over 50% of the time. And won twice in a row at Oaklawn today already. You might say mathematically it's due not to win.
Anything you want to say about Chris while he's gone?
Just that the run up did make a difference.
Oh yeah, we all know that.
He's giving us the finger. I did that to him on the weekend preview show to try to get him to bite on that one too. But hopefully things will come up. I'm trying to. Chris, should I bring the video in and see if it's choppy? The 11 in race 7. I mean, 0 for 3 at the distance. It is first time Saffy. GSR goes down. He's putting Gill aboard. I mean, I guess if it runs back to those, I guess you could add it. It could run back to those Woodbine races. But at $24, I'm willing to take the chance. That neither the favorite, the 9, or that horse win. The 9, 10, and 11.
That 1-2 shot at Aqueduct is dead last.
Did you play it?
A little, not enough that I was going to get excited either way.
Dropkick Murphy.
The Dropkick Murphys. You don't know them? Of course you don't.
Dropkick Murphy. Is that shipping up to Boston?
That's a great band.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's a great song. That's Oldy, you know that song at the Blackhawks games. The guy would get up and do the river dance in the middle of the Blackhawks games to get people crazy to that song.
I have no memory of this.
He has no idea.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, I know.
I got to win a race for that, but that's a terrific song.
It is. I mean, unless you're talking Police Squad or Airplane or Cheering, Oldy's kind of out of it.
Oh, Boston snagged that one. Yeah, that would be a great one.
Okay. Going to the gate here at Gulfstream. let's just see if we can get a preview here of how we're doing video wise. Ugh.
Feel like I'm sitting on Grandpa's lap where they have one of those old-fashioned books where they like flip the pages and you see the stuff moving as they flip the pages.
Yeah.
I don't know what the deal is, Oldy. I'm going to give the VM one more reboot here while we get through this.
Could be a GPU issue.
Or we just could be we could be working off David Harrison internet.
Yeah, but Microsoft's internet should not be running like David Harrison's internet.
Well, maybe they had to fail over to David Harrison internet today.
I mean, things happen.
Every device that was brought to the NHC got slowed down permanently. Chris, I agree. I'm at least on my phone as I'm watching some of these races. I'm having no issue.
I haven't had any issue today either.
Either that or it's Roberts. I can't tell you.
Could be Roberts.
You could tell us.
And the rules of order. I hate the rules of order.
Netscape.
Netscape.
They got destroyed.
I hear they have a navigator. Anyone? Hello? Why is this thing on?
No. Right over my head.
What if you keep it in the mini thing there? Is it choppy that way? Let's see.
Jimmy's big day, the last two.
For a second, just troubleshooting. It looks, yeah.
Oh, this would be a great way to watch races. Everybody else in Jim.
We could go quad box.
On a rare call for that barn. On the outside, Ensign Parker will complete the line. Field of 12.
See what after they start go full screen. It looks like it's okay right now.
No.
And they're off.
All right.
Level beginning. From the rail, Dropkick Murphy comes
Go
out
full screen,
firing
Chris.
toward the back of the field.
I'm
It's
trying
Green,
to, and it's not letting me.
Super Success, who all slammed on the brakes. So it's a log jam for the early lead. Ship Cadet doing battle with Japard. Dropkick Murphy is down at the rail. Midnight Special between horses. Bella Future is up close to the action while racing fifth. Then it's back to the rail in Omaha City ahead of Jimmy's Big Day. Trying to get going from the back are Super Sunshine and Ensign Parker. Toward the back of the field, Super Success with competitive.
What about Jimmy Crack Corn and I Don't Care?
Speed around the far turn. They stack,
A
they
terrible
back, and they have
attitude.
Ship Cadet to catch. Ship Cadet to the top of the stretch, leads narrowly. Bella Future launching an upset bid. Dropkick Murphy would love some racetrack. Husbands has got a hold of him. Getting started on the outside, it's Jimmy's Big Day with a rush. Farther out in Ensign Parker. Who do you like here? Ship Cadet is under siege, but he's still in front. From way back, Super Success charging hard down the center. Jimmy's Big Day is in the middle. Ship Cadet is finding here. He's
Oh, I was
away all
wrong there,
challenges.
trying to beat that
Ship
favorite.
Cadet wins. Up for second is Ensign Parker. Jimmy's Big Day is third. Closer fourth, Bella Future or Super Success in 103 and 2.
All right, Oldy, you deal with Santa Anita, and I'll try and fix the rest of this stuff here.
I mean, this one is getting 5. I'm sorry, is getting hammered. It was 4-5 on the morning line for D'Amato, but did lose by 8.5 lengths first time out. She was working with Vodka with the twist, but Vodka with the twist didn't exactly run impressively either. So I do not know if that, you know, I had some interest in this Glad horse here. Second time starter, seems to be working well with Frazier aboard. Glad's 24% with second time starters. I thought that horse might have a big look here. I also thought the first time starter for Gaines that gets gets JJ aboard there to ride might have a big look as well. But as the saying goes, the public thinks it's the 5, and the public is at Santa Anita's right about 52% of the time this meet.
Well,
Yes,
as I look at the double pool for a little bit of help, the 5-4 double is a reprehensible even money.
Not sure what that is, but if it's 1-1,
So that would imply that, put that smart ass comment aside for a second. We were so nice to each other yesterday over this issue. Now we're just back to square one. But that would imply that the horse in the next race would be something like 1-5 or something, which I don't think it's going to be the case. So
I believe that is the
go down
case
to
now.
3-5. But again, I'd argue based on these odds that 3-5 is probably not terrible value. It's just
So again, I wasn't paying attention to Oaklawn. Look at my. Did I put a note on the? Hold up. I want to see if I actually put a note on this horse, but it was a long shot play there.
So
On Euclid Avenue, the long shot. I didn't put a note on there, but
I'm going to be a bit more forward thinking, and I'm going to just I'm going to haul off and kick a big pick 3 in the nuts, hoping it's not going to get bet the same way.
Well, I'll tell you the 4 is going to be 1-5 in the next.
Yeah, that's okay.
So that
This is a large unit. That's what she said.
you're talking about your Randy Johnson there.
That's what I meant.
Oh, really large unit.
It's post time. They're loading in the gate for the.
Oldy, I think the problem is we have local recordings on somehow. That might have been some dumb thing
coming
that
up.
StreamYard did.
Maximum Gold second to last.
All right, let's see if we can fix that.
Icons only will be the last one.
All right. While this race runs, I'm going to exit out of the stream and see if I can fix that. Or did you stop the recordings?
And they're off.
I can't
Icons
stop
only had a very quick beginning. So did Maximum Gold. And Nicolina is in between those two. Sexy is 4th now, inching up in between.
Let me see if I can figure out how to stop. I'll be back.
Trailers Don't Tell Our Wives, an approval rating at the back of the field. So it's Sexy who gets to the front, past the 5/8 pole. Nicolina between rivals and Icons.
You might as well watch the race like this.
At the rail, Maximum Gold now takes that 3rd spot as Don't Tell Our Wives.
Oh my God.
I'm working on the VM.
About 3
It's
lengths
good
covers that entire quintet.
when it uploads because of the stupid recording that's
3
going on.
furlongs to run. It's Sexy confronted by Maximum Gold. And
It's very hard to get a sense of momentum this way.
A 3 wide Nicolina in the lime colors 3rd. Don't Tell Our Wives is next. Icons Only is on the outside 5th, has 5 to make up, and a long way to approval rating. They pass the quarter pole and come for home, and it's Maximum Gold on the inside and Nicolina in between those two. Don't Tell Our Wives fights on bravely inside the 8th pole. Maximum Gold by 2 now. Nicolina in 2nd. Don't Tell Our Wives. Maximum Gold just in front. Outside Nicolina, final try. Maximum Gold wins it. 3/4 of a length. Nicolina 2nd. Don't Tell Our Wives 3rd. Then approval rating.
I don't know, Oldy. I don't think I can stop it.
I don't see a way to stop it either.
This is super annoying. They haven't done this before.
Yeah, but I'll take maximum gold there. That was on the pick 5 I gave out at 8-1.
All right, share your screen.
Number 3, Maximum Gold was first. 5, Nicolina second. 2, Don't Tell Our Wives third. And number 1, Approval Rating fourth.
It's helping you out there, Chris.
All right, we got supposedly 2 minutes to Hawthorne and some time to Keeneland this time.
Okay.
All right, so the Hawthorne analysis with a minute to go. There's no Ravelli in the race. Wayne Catalano does show up in Chicago.
I thought this kind of looked like a 2-horse race between the 2 and the 4.
Yeah, Mitchell Merle. I thought he was heading to better things than this. The 2 got smashed in the double relative to anybody else. The 4 is 3 times the price.
And the 5 in the next looks a little vulnerable, but it's to what I'm not sure. It just
Killer.
doesn't look like an obvious winner. I'm just looking to see what else is here.
Brad, no contest for you today?
Did I just talk over you, Chris? Did you say something to Brad?
Yeah, I said no contest for Brad. I didn't see him on any of the leaderboards.
No, I could answer that for him to some degree, and it was the point I was going to make before. I got home in time to enter that Keeneland contest, but when I looked at the leaderboard, there's some people with some huge scores already. And look, as decent as I think I am at this stuff, who in their right mind would walk into a disadvantage like that? And so someone puts up a big number, they've almost done you a favor by doing it early, and you just say, okay, you take this one and I'll play cash, just like Brad's doing.
Howard Kravitz is in 6th at 596. 5th pays 1750. If he could somehow find his way into 4th, he would get a seat. That's for 45 entries. They're at 22 plus right now. So
no, and their registration closed. So at 22, there are 2 seats and $700 for 3rd.
Yeah.
So people are going to be fighting. Right now, if I'm in that tournament, Jesus, Darren Schweiger's in 2nd and 3rd with 1,900 and 1,200. So I would say, gosh, I hate to be rude to people or put him in a bad spot. I'd say he's probably 1 to 5 to win this. It would be very, very difficult to lose in that position. And Adam, I'm not saying Adam is vulnerable to falling out of the prize pool, but this to me looks like Adam and Darren.
yeah.
I would bet money right now that it's Darren that wins. So if I'm advising my buddy Howard, I would be targeting, believe it or not, 27
Inquiry at Santa Anita.
grand.
Yeah, you're. I see the inquiry, Oldy. You're not looking good at this point in the inquiry. And Brad, yeah, we're having some technical issues with StreamYard, so they've got some kind of bullshit recording going on in the background, which is hoarding our bandwidth, especially on Oldy's end. But we'll get that.
Why would I not be looking good? When does the?
Well, it says Oldy recording error.
Well, yeah, I always am an error of recording, but
Yeah.
doesn't look like much to me there. It looks like the 2's the one that's all over the place.
Of course, it doesn't look like much to you. You have the 3 and the pick 5.
I have the 3 in the pick 5, and I have the 5 in the pick 5. It doesn't matter. in terms of I would not be dead. It just looks like the 2 bumps the 5, then the 2 comes in and
The
bumps
3,
with the 3.
you missed the
He's
head on.
bumping the 5 right there. Now comes
Let's see the head on.
be nice, but I've watched the head on already.
All right.
Now you're just gonna watch flashing lights. They're
0,
beeping, they're flashing.
0 minutes to go at Hawthorne, and then we've got Keeneland in 3 minutes.
So I'm thinking 4-5 to the 5 as a double there.
At Hawthorne?
Yeah, I just feel like this 2 doesn't have to win. It's very reliant on getting the lead there.
Last 2 to go in, Dessert First and Sister
The
Sweet.
2 are they alleging, since the 2 also has the inquiry light, that maybe the 5 fouled the 2 too?
Who knows?
Maybe he didn't relieve
all
the
in the game.
pressure. I don't know. No change.
They're off. From the
There you
outside,
go.
Diamond Joy going for the lead. Sister Sweet came away well.
That's
She's in the
Diamond
Army
Joy,
now,
by the way,
yellow
Chris,
moving
not
up along
almond.
the inside. Accelerating big
Different
is
type of
fourth.
joy.
Dessert
All
First.
right, for
fifth.
real, can I make a
Nearly
suggestion to
trailer
you
after a
guys?
somewhat
Just as
awkward
I'm just a
start,
lonely
Fast and
guest.
Happy. They have less than a half
Ask the
mile to go
people
as
in
they
the
move
chat
up
how
the
many
far
people have a
turn.
bet on this
She's
race.
in
At
the Army now,
Hawthorne.
leads by 2.5 lengths with Diamond's Joy.
Yeah, I think
chasing
it's time to go to
second.
Keeneland.
I'd like that.
Then
I
on the
mean, just
inside,
for your
looking
own
for
sake,
Racing Room
is
at
anybody
Accelerating Babe
actually
trying to
betting
come
this?
through. Then Sister Sweet on
I
the
do.
outside is next, followed up by Dessert First. Fast and Happy trails. Around the turn, they're in the stretch. She's in the Army now, has the lead.
I think you're getting your answer.
Diamond's Joy coming back after her, and Diamond's Joy reclaims the lead. She's in the Army now.
As I said,
Second,
the
here's
2 didn't have to win
Accelerating
this
Babe
race.
moving sharply. A 16th to
It's
go.
just it's
Diamond's
just
Joy, the
unbettable.
leader. Accelerating Babe up in the second. Sister Sweet in a late move
Who
by
would
All
have
Dessert
right,
First.
we have that maiden special
Diamond's
weight
Joy in
that
front.
is a
She's
Brad
4.5
Cox
lengths
horse,
with her. Accelerating Babe
Peak,
second. Then it was
Chad
Sister
Brown, a
Sweet and Dessert
Pletcher.
First.
Betting 11 to 1 on a Chad Brown horse that got bet first time out. It was an interesting sign saying that the public doesn't like this horse. We have our internal source saying that the McPeak's very live here on the 5. Because he's the one writing the notes.
And that 1 is following through with the money it was taking before.
Yes. And it's a Brad Cox horse in Kentucky. I would not be surprised.
Yeah.
But if you want to go wider than the pick 5 there, that's a reasonable $30 ticket.
And as I'm looking at the next for everybody's benefit, the betting would suggest the 1 will be a pretty decent favorite
Going off, Chris.
over the 6.
Oldy, when we get done, we got to go figure out a way to shut off all this uploading nonsense.
Yeah.
Although I got to tell you, there's even TVG is slow right now.
So maybe it is the video. I don't know.
There's
My
some
videos
weird,
work
some
fine.
weird shit going on. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, TVG is choking.
How about we all get in a line and just see who's the
Side as they head
quarter
into the
horse I
first
waited
turn.
first
High note
corner.
forwardly placed but wide. Fourth to third to second as they head into the first turn. Heavenly Sunset stays a lane off the rail, has the lead a length and a half. They stack up 3 across behind that one, though, as Plaza Q second between horses by a neck. High note third on her outside. They both move forward to join Heavenly Sunset up front as they head off the first turn and up the backstretch. Salted backs away toward the inside in fourth. Gap of 3 lengths. In the Stars is fifth. Ganayam outside of that one is sixth. Fallon is seventh. Miss Authentic is eighth. Lolo La Plume is in ninth. And Protective Custody last to the 10, 23.25 seconds. Time for the opening quarter. Midpoint of the backstretch, Heavenly Sunset leads it by a length. Here's Plaza Q again trying to move up with High Note there to the far outside. Salted is fourth, starts to move off the rail to the far turn. Still 3 lengths off the lead. In the Stars against the rail, 5 from the front, and then Ganayam outside of her. 46.23 seconds was the time for the first half mile. Heavenly Sunset midway on the far turn leads it. Here comes Salted, though. Salted moves up far outside, fourth to third to second, a length off the lead. They're at the quarter pole. In the Stars is looking for some running room, tries to find it now at the top of the short stretch. Still fifth, trying to take fourth, and then third off the far turn. Still has company there with High Note to her inside, along with Plaza Q, who's struggling to try to hang on for that third position. In the meantime, final furlong, Heavenly Sunset chased by Salted, still 2.5, 3 lengths between them, and Heavenly Sunset the leader. Into the final 16th, Heavenly Sunset, Flavian Pratt board opening up here with a 5-length lead. Heavenly Sunset to win it. It was Salted home second, and Lolo La Plume came out of that 4-way shuffle at the top of the stretch to grab third.
Yeah, guys, it's this isn't Roberts is playing it smooth. I'm watching it. This is a StreamYard issue. We have to fix that. Somehow it's recording all 3 of us and the VM pushing the video up locally. So, and we can't seem to fix that. Something new they didn't tell us about, which is awesome. All right, Oldy, I'm going to get you out to Gulfstream.
That was like a mini boom, by the way. I had that one, but not crazy enough for cannons or goal horns or shit like that.
Okay. Fair enough.
Maybe like one of those 4th of July, you pull the string and it just makes a little pop, boom. Like nothing more.
6 is not getting bet as hard as I thought it would here. But, I mean, the system says, like yesterday, with that 3 at Laurel, the system says this horse should be getting bet much harder, and if it's not, that's a that might be a gift there. And I understand the one getting bet, it's won a lot, but it's been much weaker than the horses the 6 has faced.
And Oldy, I'm going to take a pivot here after this Gulfstream race. We're going to go to Oaklawn race number 8 because one of your favorite horses, Lemon Muffin, is running.
Yes. And if you read I was really nice this time. I think you should read the note out loud too, instead of having me read the note out loud.
Okay. What's this going to say?
I stopped short of saying, hey, don't be an idiot and bet this horse.
Lemon Muffin, the E's second pick and second win percentage will not win here. Horses over last 12 continues to be bet below 3-1 in races, creating value opportunities. Has no speed and no finishing kick. Moves up 6 points in store from the last start. Was by 5.5 lengths, meaning over 12, facing a significantly tougher group than last time out, and was no factor against easier. So go to the window.
Oh, there's more. Horse has the ugliest parents, but we're. I mean, Jesus, you couldn't have hauled off any worse than you just did.
Yeah.
God, rip on its education.
Friends don't let friends bet Lemon Muffin.
Yeah. And I love me a lemon muffin. No lemon muffin with bacon.
I'm more like
if you remember my lemon poppy seed muffin story from Vegas, that is not appropriate for these airwaves, but it is one of my best stories ever.
Oh, and we just hit 420.
I'm not saying it.
For all those who celebrate.
Yeah. I would consider a 6'2" exacta here with the Saffy horse on the front end, maybe holding on there for a piece. I mean, there really isn't any other significant speed here. I mean, the 1 and the 6 have some tactical speed, but there's really nothing, not all that much speed to challenge the 2 on the front end. It's more like they're going to have to run that horse down at Gulfstream. And that exacta is currently paying. 6'2" is paying 8-1. 2-6 is paying 14-1.
Not bad. Touch the amounts. Average is 12.
Chris, can we go to them on the track, maybe? I mean, if you're looking at a double here, a 6-4 double, which is where I'm assuming the money's going. $6-4 double's paying $350 for a buck. But if you think the 4, you can beat the 4 or the 5 in the next. The rest of the doubles to the 6 here are paying quite handsomely.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's only $5,000 in that pool. What's going on? It's a big difference Saturday to Sunday. It's a really, really, really big difference.
But also think about the type of races you had yesterday.
Yeah, I get it. Just people that pick up their phones and bet the same from day to day. I'd say just be careful. Some days, even for what you think are your own meager amounts, they do make a difference. And this pool's got $5,000 in it. Even if 10 of us just sitting here decided to go bet something, that would be enough to impact it.
I don't think I've seen a $10,000 pool at Gulfstream. I mean, I can't think of one. Have you? Can you think of one?
Well, I'm going to go back a race and see what that double pool looked like. Let's see how it finished. I'm going to guess $25,000. Yeah, 24. The race before, I'll bet you it was probably about the same. But, you know, they do take about 21. So they do take about half their money in the last click or whatever. But still, $20,000 is not. It's not bountiful. I mean, that's 1 or 2 big players away from ruining your odds.
I mean, there's still a couple minutes here.
Yep.
But not a lot.
6 minutes to Oaklawn.
For the lemon muffin chat.
Chris Couple said earlier, Oldy, while you were off, that he was looking for some Madacat Road merch for you, but he couldn't find any.
Well, just check Madacat Stables, who the horse is named for. It's one of the Starlight Ownership Group owners.
There used to be a website called horsehats.com that had all the horses you could get hats for.
All right, Oldy, is this 6-horse winning?
I think the 6 horse is winning. If the 6 horse doesn't win, it's probably the Saffy horse that wins.
Okay.
For my non-answer, but I like the 6.
No, I'm good with that. Chris, get the wheelbarrow and some gunpowder.
Okay.
And that Justin felt that way too. Because that, if you look at his note there, he has her as the one to beat.
Well, that makes 2 of us. I know the exact victory song that comes on. We were
Yeah,
singing that one before.
I probably can't play it, but. All right, Ollie, while we're waiting here, why don't you talk a little bit about Oaklawn, because we're getting down to 3 minutes over there.
All right, at Oaklawn, let's talk about who's going to beat Lemon Muffin this time. I thought Perfect Shot has a big shot. They're the 7 and is getting bet. Should get an excellent trip from the outside there. Majestic Oops is getting bet, but is not a horse I particularly like. You know, has a race 2 back that's good enough here, but you know, this horse just always seems to find a way not to win, similar to Lemon Muffin. You know,
Likes the 4 Oldie with Lasix.
yeah, I mean, I think the 4 has a big shot for McPeak. That was one of my top 3 here.
What about Fernando Jara on the 3?
Could get away on the front end. I have a note here. Game effort, first off the layoff, needs lead. And it has all the signs of a horse that could improve second off the layoff for McKnight here. But, you know, I think Perfect Shot's going to sit a pretty good trip here. And Honor Cat could sit a similar trip as well. They're the 2. The one that I think doesn't have a shot would be the 6, the long shot there. So toss the 5, toss the 6 for me.
Okay, we'll get out to your Gulfstream.
Rotary, the market leaders, timely reward the 3rd favorite. Awesome Spirit Gal going forward, then Starship Aurora.
You're right.
And Rotary.
So how much does the price go down when they leave the gate here?
I've already done it, so it's not going to have to. It won't be
I'm
my.
not saying from you.
I hope I.
Locked in, ready for
4 to 5.
1 mile. They're off.
Good break from the
Not a
6.
good start at all for Nerazzurri at the back. You Light Up My Life was away pretty quickly, not as quick as Timely Reward, though, and Timely Reward strides forward under Zayas to take a clear lead. Rotary
4 to 5, we'll take that.
position, and You Light Up My Life is at her inside. Between horses and now shuffled.
What'd you do, Matt? Win bet?
Yep.
Exacta?
And after
Nope.
that break, Nerazzurri is the trailer.
There was really no value in the doubles
Timely Reward, who went 24 seconds to that station and leads by a length
that
and
I
a half.
saw. So
Rotary,
not,
under that patented Paca Loose Rain, racing in second. At the inside, You Light Up My Life is now 3rd. Awesome Spirit Gal 4th. 5 more to Starship Aurora and 6 more to Nerazzurri. They go to the half-mile grounds. Timely Reward, making her intentions known. She's a half
Bunched
a mile
up
from
behind.
the wire and 2 on top. Moving 3 wide is Awesome Spirit Gal. That's going to put Rotary in a bad spot. She's now back to a joint 3rd. Meanwhile, You Light Up My Life is under encouragement with an inside lane. These top 4 still have separation on Starship Aurora, and forget about
maybe the
Nerazzurri.
6 was just playing
Reaching
possum
top of the
there.
stretch, Timely Reward held together up front. To attack mode now is Awesome Spirit Gal. Rotary asked to quicken 3 wide 3rd. You Light Up My Life did not kick on through 3/4 and 10 and 4. off the turn and the stretch drive. Timely Reward is still rolling. She has work to do, but she has the lead. From the outside, it's Awesome Spirit Gal. Broderie is trying to gain ground late.
That's it to get there.
Past the 6
Come on.
Broderie
Come on,
tries
get
to
over
level
the
off
top.
down the center. Timely
Get
Reward.
over the
Awesome
top.
Spirit
You
Gal.
got it.
Broderie surging.
There we go.
Broderie's getting out. Mile back. Narazuri closed ground. 137.2.
Woo! Had it the whole time. God damn, do I hate watching these races. Oh my God. Heart Attack City. Thanks for having that goal horn ready. That was perfect.
You're welcome.
God. Heart Attack City. I mean, I can't remember which of the Matisse clan has said this, and it's so accurate that if you bet on a 4 to 5 shot and it doesn't win like one, you shouldn't be celebrating so much because you weren't that right. And that's kind of how that feels. But yeah, a win's a win. So great call, Oldie. Thank you.
Problem. Now let's be right about Lemon Muffin, even though I'm sure everybody will have a laugh at my expense of it if I'm wrong.
We need to agree on a punishment if this horse wins.
Debbie Boone, Patrick. Debbie Boone sang that song. Sorry, Wiz got it too. Wiz looked it up. I didn't.
Perfect shot. Perfect shot. Eric Askus to the
Here we go.
We're ready to go.
They're ready to go.
Lemon Muffin.
Oldie, you're going to need a punishment if this horse wins, and
Break it, drop.
it's going to just be assigned to you afterwards.
It's a point.
He had a great break, didn't he?
Tore up.
Yeah, he did.
Setting up shot right behind the third. Perfect shot on the outside going into the first turn.
He broke like a donk.
One runner beat early.
The
David
donk.
Donk? The International Donk Society?
Cat takes control.
You've never seen a 4 to 5 celebration like that? I mean, that was not an entertainment wager. I can guarantee you that. Will.
Perfect shot.
Well, you just have to bet a little more irresponsibly.
Under the palms, Lemon Buffett joins her at the back. Fillies and Bears separated by just 5 lengths down the back stretch run. Under Cat, Christian Torres, the leading rider currently, has the lead. A half length from She Makes a Point, and Fernando Hara still pressing on the outside. A length and a half.
Oldie, we'll go to Santa Anita next.
All right, yeah, single coming up.
Key to success is Lemon Buffett there together. And Under the Palms drops to the back. She has to pass them all. And about 3 furlongs has 6 lengths to make up, streaking into the turn. Under Cat, half length in front still. She Makes a Point has come under a little bit of pressure now in the second position. Majestic Oops waiting on the rail. She's got horse. Majestic Oops just has to push away out of behind horses here. She's got to find a way out of traffic. She's trying to get outside. Perfect Shot's trying to pin her in. But Majestic Oops finds the seam. And here she comes. Majestic Oops taking over the lead. Hunter Cat gives way, is dropped anchor.
No early speed, no late kick.
Who spurts away. 3-length lead. Lemon Muffin second.
Am I wrong?
See Daisy.
Up to the line though. Majestic Oops sailing away.
And off at 5. So again, it's 3 to 1.
Boom.
Again, that makes, well, how many races did I say in a row? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5 races in a row that horse has gone off under 3 to 1. And it's now lost 13 in a row.
All right, Oldie, get out to Santa Anita. Matt, are you getting close to yesterday's good stuff?
I don't know what you mean by the good stuff. That's not for later.
The balance.
No, honestly, yesterday, scale-wise, was just very large. I had a huge day, and I just hit everything in sight. And I do reset every day, and my amounts, despite where my bet amounts got to yesterday, I reset at the start of the day here. And look, I'm having a really good day, and it's all going well, but this is not a continuation. I'd be going far more bananas if I was still betting those units. But that's the fastest way to give back your money. You just can't do that, in my opinion. So you start back to your base.
Yep.
So on the $2 double here, the 4-1 paying $2.50, and the 4-8 is paying 2-1, or 1-1 actually.
Brad,
And
how do you
the-
know what a wounded dog sounds like?
More
so
left
well?
to load. Abaddon and Big Bet.
I couldn't tell you what that even sounds like. How many wounded dogs are you around?
Going in.
It's the King's goal horn, man. I mean, Matt wants me to have the goal horn. He wants me to get
Bullhorn is
And they're off.
it's horrific fun.
Nameless in the center. Here's Abaddon now moving up to take the lead. So it's Abaddon.
Abaddon, that
Nameless
horse has
at
been
the
around
rail.
forever.
Happy Does and Big Bet for them right across the
we
track.
got Hawthorne and
Marcus is
Keeneland
down
coming
on
up
the
next.
inside in
Oldy.
fifth. Contrary Chieftain is steadying in between horses, and Love Candy outside of him. They come to the 6 furlong pole, and Happy Does makes the lead. And the favorite, Nameless, will track him in second. It's another 2 back to Abaddon, and Big Bet is fourth on the
Nameless. It's a
outside.
little sad.
Dark Marcus is a bit keen. He's on the fence in fifth.
That
Just
horse
three
makes
lengths
Isn't that
behind
laziness
Love
by the
Candy and
owner?
Contrary
For
Chieftain.
self-esteem.
Down the back
just can't
stretch,
be
and it
good.
is Happy Does. 3 parts of a length.
Who are you?
Nameless races in the
Nameless.
second spot. Big Bet.
Didn't the
Abaddon
Dolphins
hand in
have the
hand
no-name
at the rail.
defense,
Dark
though?
Marcus still fifth. Love Candy gets
Chris's
pushed
dogs
along
are
at
gonna
the
get hit
back
by
of the
that
pack
cannon,
with
Brad.
Contrary
No, they
Chieftain
don't care about any
into
of
the
those
far
boys.
turn. Happy Does
All the
still
dogs
there.
in the neighborhood.
Has it a
You're gonna
half
be right.
length.
All I know is we
Nameless
ended the
turning
show
up the pressure
yesterday,
just a
and my
touch
wife
in
said, "Must
second.
have
Happy
been good.
Does
I
tries
heard
to
the
let him
horn
out a
100
notch,
times."
but Nameless sticking right with him. These two will arrive at the quarter pole together, with Dark Marcus now edging clear of rival Big Bet, who's back in fourth. Then comes Abaddon in fifth, a quarter to go, and
Here
Nameless
comes
takes the lead.
anonymous. Here comes
Nameless has been
meaningless.
confidently handled throughout.
Here comes
At the
no
rail, Happy
value.
Does is set down.
Here comes
He's not
Nameless,
done.
Here
Fitting
comes
Blameless,
nicely.
nameless.
And 3
and
back to Dark
Shameless.
Marcus in third. They're in the final furlong. And Hernandez now opens up aboard Nameless, puts a 3-length lead on them as
That's
Dark
what a 1 to
Marcus
5
with big
shot's
strides
supposed to
moves
look
into
like.
second. Nameless,
Uh-huh.
Dark
You were
Marcus,
saying?
Barely
Nameless, Dark
trying.
Marcus. Nameless holds on. Just
Barely
out of the
holds
way.
on.
He had
Dark
that
Marcus, a
measured.
good
And
second.
that's
Then came
he had never a reason for worry.
I mean, it was pretty obvious that horse was going to win. Whether it wins by a half a length or a length and a half, I don't think really matters.
All right, Oldy, we got Hawthorne, which is allegedly in 2 minutes, and Keeneland in 7.
So
What do you-
Keeneland go off first.
Okay.
So this 5 here, Bigfoot sighting. I mean, there's just nothing here. But I don't think this horse, again, another horse that I don't think has to win. And the money's been pretty not smart today here. I just don't know where to go with the money here. This would not be a race I'd want to play.
Speaking of the Hawthorne meet. Sorry.
Featuring the Illinois Derby.
It's just just unplayable.
Yeah. I mean, the 2 has a nice GSR, is moving from synthetic to dirt.
They'd have to start guaranteeing win pools and things like that to make this, to get this off the ground. I wouldn't even know how to advise them on what to do to fix something this broken.
I feel like the answer is less races, so bigger fields would be the start.
Yeah, just close.
You don't need a pick. You don't need a pick 6. You don't need a pick 8.
Oh,
You don't handle enough money.
the living hell out of that pick 7 at Arlington when they had it back in the day before that.
Yeah, I funded that pool, but
Yeah.
the payout on that thing averaged when somebody hit it, it averaged $45K.
Yeah, and how many times did you hit it?
Exactly 0.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I hit it, but never for that much.
You hit it
My point is, though, look at this.
there, right? Was it there or Hollywood? The big one where the wife was like, "Oh my God, do we need a police?"
That was the first pick six ever. That was, I think that was Hollywood. It was one of the California tracks.
Hollywood.
And that was in the middle of the kid's birthday where I was just freaking out looking at my ticket, couldn't believe what was going on. And then she freaked out.
You did. I remember you did the dishes. Everybody went away. You sat down with the wife, and then she was like, "Oh my God, who are you? What are you doing?"
It played out so silly because I wasn't trying to screw with her. And I said, look, this was kind of big. And she turned and looked because she knew I don't talk that way. And when I said, I can't remember what the exact number was, like 68, like she took that to mean $6,800 and started dancing around like crazy. And I wasn't trying to mess with her. I'm like, no, there's a zero. And I'm, again, if you read the book, I think I wrote it pretty funny in there, but you would think that, sheer happiness would turn into elation, multiplying it by 10. And instead, she wanted to run for cover and hire the security and get a safety deposit box and every other normal reaction that someone in her position would have. So funny.
All right, so back to Hawthorne and their pick six. Their pool is currently $479.50 for a $2 base.
Put in like a $1,500 ticket. Let's see what happens.
It's completely.
You put a $60 ticket in here to win what? On a $2 pick six. It makes no sense.
And yet here we are still talking about it. It's incredible.
It's just.
Pete's talking about the race.
This is almost like Hawthorne is almost like a track in Texas that can't take ADW money, but they can.
And listen, when the turf opens up,
they take CAW money.
Yeah.
So that's already that's in the numbers, which is even crazier.
Mm-hmm.
But in fairness, when the turf opens up, you'll get bigger fields.
You will.
And more competitive races. It's a nice turf course.
You'll get them. That doesn't mean that there's money in the pool.
Going in the gate, they're making a liar out of me. They're going to be ahead of Keeneland.
And Oldy, I did some research. This uploading thing for StreamYard is what's killing us.
Okay.
Cutlass King moving out, and those two fight for early command. Elegante moving through to be third. Alongside that one, Oliverio is fourth.
And the shame, by the way, is that every single person I've met that works there is outstanding and terrific and nice.
The back stretch they go.
Man,
King
it's
on
just,
the inside.
we want so badly for it to be better.
Moving up 3 wide.
Yes.
Oliverio and those 3 across the track now fighting for the lead.
I'll also say you also very much want to not watch racing live there either.
And it's 4 or 5 more.
Right, I mean, you're not headed to Cicero.
Is just a walk in the park. Another gap.
Did you see Emily's tweet the other day where she took the bridge pick?
4.5 furlongs to go.
It was like a total play on the Saratoga bridge. It was super funny. It was just like some kind of
Oliverio is second. Cutlass King is
third.
And then it's Elegante
says they're loading at Keeneland.
fifth. Just a walk in the park gains ground. Still a gap in the stop, and they move around the turn 3 furlongs from the wire.
I thought the one
Bigfoot sighting leads
was going to be tough at
another move on the outside second, and towards the inside.
The morning line so thought that
the gap to just a walk in the park is taken over fourth. Here's missed option, now finding a good stride while moving wide for the stretch run and dropping out last. Aladante 3/16 to go, and the whip comes out on this long time leader. Bigfoot sighting leads up on the outside. Here comes Cutlass King, still on the outside, gaining ground.
Two is flying late.
A 16th to go. Bigfoot sighting holding firm. Cutlass King not getting by in third position. Missed option.
As I said, there was not much in this race.
I have early speed, and here's Breeze in town between that pair, but Long Neck Paula is the early leader. And then
What do you mean here, Matt?
Kind of
toward the inside in the fourth position.
an
Turbulent
insult
Force
to a
is in
woman to
fifth,
call her long neck
and Flat to the
Paula.
Mat is last of the six. Long neck Paula leads by a length and a half to Breeze in Town onto the far turn,
I have
second and a
nothing
half
here.
length. And then Normandy Coast to the inside, followed by Killjoy, fourth up on the outside, 21.92 seconds, the time for the opening quarter. Turbulent
Anybody
Force
in the
further
chat,
back against
who
the
are we
rail,
rooting
5
for?
lengths from the lead.
Okay, somebody explain to me this. Why was the one not on the rail there?
Top stretch, long neck Paula with Normandy Coast finding an opening, trying to sneak through down toward the
Well,
inside.
Oldy, I
Here
will
is
explain
Normandy
that
Coast
one.
up the rail to
I
challenge
do
long
think
neck
on a
Paula.
day like
These
today,
two going at it for the lead as they move
there
into the
is
final
logic.
log at the Palisades.
And with the
Normandy
amount of
has a
cooling,
narrow lead.
there could
Long
be
neck
an
Paula
argument
there to
for
the
staying
outside in
off the
second
rail.
now as they come for
This
the
is the
16th
third
hole.
race where I've
Normandy
watched it.
Coast comes up
Watch
the
a horse come
inside,
up the
then
rail
harness
and win.
aboard, cut the corner,
Yeah.
turning for home, and goes
Not
on to
dis-
win the
not
Palisades.
disagreeing
Normandy
with you.
Coast in front.
And in general, I
Long neck
agree
Paula was
with
home
you
second, Killjoy
completely on
third,
the
Flat to the
rails.
Mat fourth.
But when it's
Turbulent
soaking
Force
wet,
across the wire
I
in
can picture some
and
jockeys
Reason
saying that looks too splashy for me. I agree with you that we've seen evidence today that that's not the case. So they don't really need to think that way. But okay, leaving the rail open because you think it looks soaking wet, I don't think is a stupid move.
All right, Oldy, we'll do a quick pivot here. We'll move over to Aqueduct. They got 3 races left here. What do you got?
You should catch Patrick's comment there, by the way, because if he's right, and it might be a little early for that conclusion, but if he's right, there is a lot of money to be made at Keeneland betting against Wesley Ward. So
Tomorrow there is a horse I like in race 1 that was supposed to run on Friday, obviously, because it's that card, who has an absolute monster work that's running against a Ward first-time starter there, and that's the 5 horse, no, the 10 horse. Keeneland race 1.
yeah, and Chris Cummings is also chiming in. So it's a great angle. You know, people go to this meet thinking like, here's the specialist who's going to get it done. Well, gosh, what if he doesn't? I mean, if you just look at him as a bet against, I mean, it would. If someone told you that Larry Rivelli wasn't going to win a race at Hawthorne, you'd say, I'm going to clean up if they had any money.
I'd clean up the $1,000 pool.
Well, but I mean, it's the same thing here that, my gosh, I mean, this guy is, you know, they talk about him like he preps for this meet and obviously he does. But if for some reason his barn's cold, that would be a terrific thing to spot early.
Yes, for sure. Red Speedo's the horse. And the Ward horse here is the 8 Pinky Finger, whose works are, I'm going to say, average. So that's an 8-1 morning line. And note that Red Speedo got picked up by the win percentage algorithm at second in win percentage, and it's the first pick. So the E is seeing something in there too.
Mm-hmm.
And it's picking Saya's up there. And I watched multiple of Pinky Finger's works that are out there. I just use the Oaklawn version of the site because it's the easiest thing to get to watch works. It has all the Kentucky works and all the Oaklawn works and all the Fairgrounds works, that they're all organized there. So
just a heads up, as I'm looking at what's coming up, I do see a very popular or once popular horse, at least within the HHH Racing podcast family. Uncle Jim is in 3 minutes at Aqueduct.
Yeah, I at one time was popular with me too. I liked Uncle Jim.
Yeah.
The claim to Linda was put in for a tag and claimed to Linda.
Poor horse.
And moving back up. Feel like I'm going right into the Jeffersons again.
Oh, we talked about that yesterday. What was Martha Gibbs' name?
Wheezy?
No, that was George and Wheezy was the husband and wife.
Oh, the
she was like the maid or the
yeah, the housekeeper.
I know we could look that up, but like,
Yeah,
I mean, she was like the star of the show. She was absolutely hilarious.
those are good shows.
Well, and think about this, and I haven't thought about this in forever. That show was a long time ago, and they had an interracial couple on that show. That's unbelievable how progressive that was for back then. I remember.
Yeah, but also they were making racist remarks about the interracial couple.
Right. I mean, I remember on the Brady Bunch, it was such a big deal once when they had Mike and Carol like laying in the same bed, hearing a noise somewhere in the house. And I guess back then they just didn't show people in a bed. And so, yeah, it's just interesting from the old guy's perspective, the stuff we remember of what was taboo and what now is, there's no standards.
All right, 1 minute to post at Aqueduct. Oldy, where did you land on here?
I didn't land. I mean, Uncle Jim, we were talking about, was in the Withers, didn't run. Cox dropped it in for 50K and Linda claimed it and is protecting it here, but moving it up, way back up. That horse obviously is a big look, but I think that, maybe the 6 Tracking Air would be where I would land for Chad Brown.
So no love for the 2.
I mean, it should move forward with Linda, but it's a big move forward from a 54 SOR to a 62. In a race where if that horse needs the lead, you have 3 other horses, and I doubt Chad's not going to send his other horse here.
All right, here we go. Matt, any action here?
Her name was Florence. No.
No, Florence. Good.
Not Flojo.
All right, after this, we'll get out to Gulfstream Park. We got 5 minutes there.
Yeah.
By the way, I think still holds a world record, believe it or not.
Wow.
Who?
Florence Griffith Joyner. Flojo.
I think so.
If not, it was just broken recently.
It was her, and then it was, I think, Jackie Joyner Kersey. There were a couple Olympics in a row where there were just some absolute superstars. Michael Johnson was crazy for a while.
And doped up.
Remember those crazy shoes, those gold shoes? That was amazing.
The one that the world record that seems like it may never be broken is that long jump world record. Nobody's made a legal jump within 5 inches of that thing in like 30 years.
Oldy, I've heard a lot of speculation about records that'll never be broken. I have never once heard someone pick out that one.
No. The 56th
I think that's Michael Powell holds that record.
Or knowing the name of the person who has it. Oh my God. Seriously.
I was reading something on it. Nobody's been within 5 inches of that world record. And nobody's jumped legally above 20. So legally means without aid of the wind in 30 years since they broke it. Since Carl Lewis and Mike Powell both broke it that day.
Okay, so for real, you think that's happening first or another Cal Ripken first?
I don't know. That's a tough call. I mean,
it seems like anything compared to the Cal Ripken one loses to me. But
you would think though that that's the kind of sport that would have continued to advance.
A 56-game hitting streak, Ricky Henderson's stolen base record. Those are
I'd say Ricky Henderson's stolen base record out of the baseball records is the safest.
Is what?
It's the safest.
Safe.
Oh, yeah. So is the 56-game hitting streak.
I mean, that mathematically that could happen. So you need an entire change of the way the game is played for Ricky Henderson, for anybody to even come close.
Here we go at Aqueduct.
Because stealing 40 bases a year, you do the math and tell me how many years you'd have to play.
Yeah, and he's still 101 his first year.
Didn't he steal 140 one year?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just making a point. Not a good break for Uncle Jim either.
Uncaged. The eventful beginning is now in the seventh racetrack. Gets the trailer. Puts about 6 lengths off the leaders, 22-3 for the opening quarter.
We're all going to be wrong, and Ray and his handle are going to win this race.
The rail on the mount, doesn't want to give up that position, comes right back, boxes on, and now puts a nose back in front of Georgia Magic. Just off of them is Uncle Jim, watching the action from third in a perfect spot. Uncle Jim just stalking the two pace setters, waiting for the cue. Moving forward is Tracking Errors towards the inside now of Uncaged, who's unleashed, and Uncaged is rallying on the far turn. The trailer, Togadoro, 45.34 for the half-mile time. The top two still go at it. Georgia Magic to the outside, on the mount to the inside. Uncle Jim starts to progress, and Uncle Jim gets the cue, is not picking up the leaders right away. Tracking Error is going to ride the rails. Uncaged is stalling just a touch on the outside. They reach the top of the stretch. On the mount is trying to shrug off the challenge of Georgia Magic, and the front two are tired. But can the closers catch him? Tracking Errors tipping to the outside. Uncle Jim, Uncaged continues a sustained rally from the back of the field. On the mount is trying to gut it out for a final furlong, approaching the final 16. Uncaged is running by. Uncaged is going to make a last to first move, and Uncaged will win it. Uncaged over on the
Day for sad appearance and day for Uncle Jim there.
Lots of different action there. That should be interesting how that will work out.
That is one of the reasons I filed divorce papers and stick with them.
All right, Oldie.
Nice job, Patrick.
Get you up there. Gulfstream Park Race 9. They're getting close to the gate.
Well, again, these are horses that have been around a long time. I mean, Alley-Oop Johnny has 42 starts.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that these are horses we've watched for a while. This horse burns money. Probably will set a pile on fire here. You're better off with somebody like Elevated Game, or maybe the 7 College Dream. Why can't I say that? I know what the town's called. Here did win 2 back for Safi, and now moves Barnes, but pretty good off the claim. Justin likes the horse too. Has some tactical speed. So I'm gonna say 4, 7, 8.
I do think the odds on the 4 and the 5 are going to tighten up and maybe flip.
Makes sense based on the morning line for sure.
Yeah, I'm looking at the double, the pick 3, the 4 should be the favorite. So I wouldn't be surprised if they just.
I mean, this is the same level that the 5's been burning money at. Probably just a little bit too good of a group. We'll see.
So I'm live here to a double with the 4 only. It's not enormous. I do not want to play a maiden claimer in the last. And so for me, I think it's a small exact 5-4 to just back that up a little bit.
Okay.
But there's no horns, no, even if the 4 wins, which I'm hoping for, it's still, it's a nice little hit, but you need to meter out the booms, and we got to save them for where you really need them.
Mm-hmm.
There's a finite amount of booms. Is that what you're saying?
Well, they just don't feel the same if it's over and over and over. So you kind of got to really look. The same thing in hockey. There's goals, and then there's goals, and they're not all the same.
Oh, speaking of hockey, I was there. Do you remember when Patrick Kane did the shootout move where he stopped completely and then faked the goalie out from a dead stop?
Yes.
I was there that night at the Target Center, at I think it was the Target Center, but we were having a customer event back when I used to cover Minnesota, and I was the only happy person in the stadium.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a good moment.
After this, Oldy, we're going to, Matt, you'll love this. We're going to get out to a quarter horse race.
Ooh, in.
Remington Park.
In.
Does that mean it takes a quarter of the betting?
Less.
It does not.
And when they go around the bend, does that make them a corner horse?
The horses
One going around the turn.
It's now post time.
300 yards. They're going
Begins for
straight.
Start race number 9, 3-2 favorite. Number 5, Alley Oop Johnny. Marty Drexler has
They're going
I like the 300-yard two-turn races.
We won't catch it. They're going out right now.
Daily double.
2-1. I still think that 5 is going to go up a teeny bit. We'll see.
Ocala Dream to the outside.
So if you are betting that, I do like
Now 8-5 on the 5.
Beautiful Bertha at Remington.
Got no time at Remington. Beautiful Bertha.
And there.
Broke well, got compromised,
Good
not
start
going to
for
win.
Elevated Game, and in the middle, Alley Oop Johnny's on the move. Up on the far outside, Ocala Dream looking to get over. These 3 quickest from an improving Nerves of Steel, who's 4th at the inside. Khan is next from a well-settled Salvatore Prince. Rock the Stars, the early trailer. They concede the lead to Alley Oop Johnny. Alley Oop Johnny and Jaramillo have the lead, but not the rail, as Elevated Game thought better of conceding the lead and is on to challenge again. Back to third, Ocala Dream.
Well, your 2 favorites are going to kill each other here.
Back to Dracan, who's now 5th ahead
on
of
the front
Salvatore
end.
Prince, and Rock the Stars is last.
It is amazing how predictable these odds changes
are a
can
neck
be
apart,
sometimes.
with Alley Oop Johnny holding the advantage over Elevated Game. Tripped out third is Ocala Dream, a length and a half better than Nerves of
Easier
Steel,
to predict that than who
Big
wins.
price. Dracan is next, and the green cap itself.
Who do you need here, Matt? The 4?
Need the 4 or a 5-4.
Half and 47 and 1.
But again, it's not huge money. I'm not going to.
He had to work in the second quarter. He's a length
Not
in
get
front
too
of
exercised.
Ocala Dream, who goes to move on him around second. At the rail, that's Elevated Game. He appears to have called it an afternoon. He's back to third, but losing a bit more ground. Up to the outside, that's Nerves of Steel. Salvatore Prince, he's got to be live from there. Bravo tries to feed him some racetrack through 3/4 in 110 flat. Off the turn and the stretch drive. Alley Oop Johnny makes a break for it off the turn. He leads an 1/8 of a mile out with 3 lengths to hold. Salvatore Prince is charging into second with Ocala Dream. Final 16th of a mile. Alley Oop Johnny trying to hold off Salvatore Prince. Salvatore Prince is lifting. He's going to get him. Salvatore Prince in time.
Alley Oop Johnny did what Alley Oop Johnny does.
That's terrible.
That's one to put a note on, Matt, so you don't use that one again until that horse wins a race.
All right, Oldie, Oaklawn race number 9.
Okay.
Oh, I got a good one here.
I hope it's the 4 horse.
In a second, I can't get Chip to load. It is the 4 horse for a really sizable double.
Putting Eagle.
Yeah, that's a little bit of. We could use some gunpowder in the cannon for this one.
Okay.
Even money, that's fine, given that I'm in the double.
I thought it was 4, 8, 9. I have notes on the 8 as being a potential live long shot. In the 9 lottery win, but I also said clearly that the 4 is the horse to beat here. Tactical should be able to get a trip whether on the lead or just off.
Boy, and I'm looking at the doubles. The 7 in the next race is just getting pummeled. Pummeled. Jesus.
Which is weird because the 4 should win that race.
They are off.
Hard. Montana Cafe is 3 deep, easing off of them, a length and a half behind now. Lottery Win. He's in the 4th position with stablemate Asleep at 8. Another 2 lengths to Tomcat Tuesday, 4 clear of We Need a Favor and Trojan Pride. That leaves Tiptoe Joe, 2 trail in a strung out group. Hunting Eagle at 4 to 5 takes it to him. Hunting Eagle opening up 3. Katnia Song under some pressure, second. Lottery Win joins him. A joint second round in the turn. There's a gap of 3 lengths to Montana Cafe, asleep at 8.
In hand.
Side of him, and then Tomcat Tuesday as they come to the top of the lane. Hunting Eagle.
Well, I bet that one to win.
Off the turn down. Katnia Song attempts to re-rally. Lottery Win on the grandstand side, still third. Furlong to go.
Hunting just doesn't want to go past that too.
Comfortably clear. A 4-length lead with a 16th to go. Lottery Win is trying
Finally did it.
Nice. Nice. Easy. No stress.
Nope.
Yeah, I did clearly say, I hope it's the 4. I think that's about as clearly as I could announce intentions.
Yes. All good. Big
And the note here said tactical and should get a trip whether on the lead or off, and also finds a group without a lot of other proven speed.
And Oldy, you're getting a shout out. I think the 9 was involved from what Patrick is saying.
Yeah, 9 finished second.
All right, Oldie, quickly, Santa Anita Park. They're going to the gate.
All right, Santa Anita. Going in the gates. What do I like here? I don't even remember what I liked here. The 8 obviously has a shot. Let me look at this. I thought the 3 could potentially steal this on the front end. The 6, 8, and then the 6 was the other horse I liked here for Callahan. Been close.
Rolling with the 8.
I mean, the 8 should win for McCarthy, but again, the 3 could get away. It's Doug O'Neill. We've seen that happen.
Last one will be Holly Go Quickly. In the gate. And they're off. Bougie Like and Happy as a Clam. Big Leap along the inside is up close in third. Double Cappuccino comes away between rivals and is now going right after the front runner, Bougie Like. Then Gioro in fifth, followed by Catholic Cat, who races just outside of Nakota, and it's another 2. Back to Holly Go Quickly, who is 9 lengths off the lead. Bougie Like and Antonio Fresu lead the way, confronted early on by Double Cappuccino into second. Then comes Big Leap tucked in neatly third in a good spot too. Then comes Happy as a Clam, 4 off the pace in fourth. Gioro is next. Catholic Cat is some 6 or 7 lengths off them, followed by Nakota and Holly Go Quickly. Past the half-mile pole, Bougie Like's been there throughout. Double Cappuccino a half length away in second, and Big Leap rides the rail in third. Then Happy as a Clam, still fourth, 3 lengths off the lead. Gioro is next on the inside of Catholic Cat, who gets a little bit of a nudge. Holly Go Quickly in Nakota. Approaching the quarter pole, and Double Cappuccino is up to take a narrow lead. Bougie Like is now pushed along down at the rail in second. The come from behinders are starting to arrive on the scene. Here comes Gioro on the outside. Further out is Catholic Cat, and also Happy as a Clam. On the outside, Gioro, Happy as a Clam. These 2 go on down at the rail. Double Cappuccino is fighting very bravely. It's Happy as a Clam in between horses with a narrow advantage near the wire. Happy as a Clam wins it. Double Cappuccino was second. Gioro finished third.
Some nice
and in
slow pace
behind
there,
them,
Chris.
it was
Yeah, and the 8 finished last.
Think about the insanity of this. If you took 10 people and told them to run a mile, they wouldn't be within 100 feet of each other at the end of a mile. And these horses, I mean, it's unbelievable how close these things are consistently.
Mm-hmm.
It's just for that amount of distance, for them to consistently come down to these margins is nuts to me.
Well, even competitive milers that those races don't end that closely
Right,
in track and field. Like
right. It's
you might
so-
have one or two people, and then you have like half a straightaway to the next person.
Yeah. These horse races are crazy. I don't know if it's the way they compete, whatever, but to consistently after a mile to come down to this is just nuts.
Hawthorne Park.
Is it a park?
It is.
Race course? No, it's a race course.
Yeah.
You got a 3 to 5 favorite who's 70% here.
That's
Danville,
Illinois.
which is not Danley. I was about to sing the Danley Garage Doors theme.
Go ahead.
Well, I hear they're building your garage with quality. Have I told the story? I have a coworker, the same coworker that gets a reply to every email that's an auto reply I set up that says, so he complained about somebody we do from a company we acquired saying to him, oh golly, thank you, that was not professional. So every email he sends me now gets an auto reply that says, not oh golly, I'm saying, oh goody, thank you. So he gets that every time. But he also calls me and screams Bob Rohrman into my voicemail. And when I call him, I do Harry Schmerler, the singing Ford dealer.
I can't even begin to tell you the problem this person would have had with me if he thinks what you did was inappropriate.
No, he doesn't think what I did. He thinks what I did was hilarious.
The other person. I once got a phone call from HR. I swear to God, this is true, saying, Matt, I know this is nuts. One of the lawyers on your team just called and said, you've bought a device that's a game for electrocuting people, and you are peer pressuring people to electrocute themselves. Is it possible that that's true? I said, oh yeah, it's fun as hell. You should come upstairs and play. Well, apparently one person didn't think it was so fun, but I still have it. It's a good time.
Yeah, I mean, and he gets me, he like edits news stories and inserts me into news stories. So I mean,
already in.
What did you say?
He can't just find news stories that you're already in?
I mean, I try to stay out of the news stories. I think there's a problem if I'm in the news stories.
There is a terrific horse name coming up at Hawthorne in the next race. For those of you who enjoyed Nacho Libre as much as I did, I'm not sure it's quite the spelling, but Ramses, the wrestler, there you go.
All right, there's a reference for you.
All right, we got Hawthorne coming up here in a minute, and then we'll get out to Keeneland.
Yeah, you have a lot of interesting names in the race 5 there. You have Waylon Richard, who could also be Waylon Richard. I'm not sure if it's a hockey playing horse. It might be Waylon Richard.
It would be a hockey playing horse namer, not horse. Just look at the wood. it's really just unbelievable. They can't even
Racing
like
fans are at the starting gate for today's
zoom in
fourth
enough
race
to
here at
just
Hawthorne.
make it look nice what they have.
Horses are entering the starting gate.
I'm going to keep an eye on Keeneland as well.
Yeah, I agree, Patrick.
Yeah, I'm looking at Keeneland.
Remind me sometime when we have time between races to talk about what I consider the greatest story ever told.
Son of Grace.
Wow.
Which is my coworker Chris Lautis' story about going in the wrong bathroom because he was going to have such an explosion that he
They're off.
couldn't pay attention to what bathroom he walked
Towards the
into.
inside, Mr. Charming.
That will
Dan
never
Bill,
happen
Midnight
at the
Blue Note
Masters.
all going out for the lead. Son of Grace moves up fourth. And Two
They
Cookie
are
Rule
on
is
top
the
of
early
that.
trailer as they make their
work
way into the
training.
first turn. Mr. Charming has the lead. And around the turn, Mr. Charming by 2 with Midnight Blue Note into second. Danville is now third. Two Cookie Rule ranging up fourth. And Son of Grace is back to fifth. As they move on to the backstretch, they have 6 furlongs to go. The quarter went in 25.33. And up the backstretch, Mr. Charming leads the way. Midnight Blue Note out there second. Two Cookie Rules now moved into third. Danville right there in fourth, about 3 lengths behind the leader. And Son of Grace trails less than 5 furlongs to go.
Oh, there's much more than
Mr.
just the
Charming
shit to the
has the
story
lead
was.
on the outside. Midnight Blue Note inching a closer second.
I buried the
Cookie
lead
Rule
to the
third,
story.
Danville fourth, and Son of Grace is still fifth. Half in 50.10, and around the turn they go. Mr. Charming keeps the lead. Midnight Blue Note's been pressuring every step of the way. Two Cookie Rule, 2 lengths back in third, and then towards the inside, Danville trying to come on fourth, and Son of Grace is fifth as they come to the top of the stretch. Mr. Charming trying to take them all the way. Around the turn, they're in the stretch. Mr. Charming still has the lead. Midnight Blue Note between horses. Two Cookie Rule picks up the leaders on the outside third. Danville has clear sailing along the rail if good enough and is coming on. Here comes Danville trying to catch this longtime leader, Mr. Charming. Danville has all the
Danville isn't
momentum
a ton
along
in
the rail,
Indiana.
and Danville now takes the lead in deep stretch, and Danville's going to win it. Two Cookie Rule got up for
Winner.
second. Mr. Charming,
I played a
Midnight
cold
Blue
double.
Note, and Son of Grace.
And now I can say I bet Hawthorne recently.
All right, Keeneland in the gate for the grade 2 Beaumont. And they're off.
Then Verity up on the outside as they head up the chute and onto the backstretch. Now Volleyball Princess kicks in. She broke fourth, now moves up second, but it is Stunner, a lane off the rail, who leads. Stunner leads it by almost a full length now. Verity moves back up on the outside, second by a half length. Volleyball Princess is now in third position by just a neck. GW's Girl moves by and from in between horses to her outside. And then Continuity, who's wide at the back, moves up 1 spot from last, 3 lengths front to back, opening quarter, 22.22 seconds. They head onto the far turn, and it is Stunner, the leader, with Verity second and less than a length separate the top 2. GW's Girl third up on the outside, and then Volleyball Princess fourth against the rail. Continuity last of the 5, now running nearly 5 lengths off the lead as they round the far turn. Stunner chased by Verity, and then Volleyball Princess, who comes up the rail to third. GW's Girl is fourth off the far turn. Into the stretch, Verity and Stunner. Stunner and Verity going at it for the lead. Final furlong of the Middle Ground Capital Beaumont, and Verity has the lead now. Verity leads it by a length and a half. Back to Stunner in second. 3 more lengths to Volleyball Princess in third. It is Verity in front. And Verity comes pounding home for Vince Chaminade to win it. It was Stunner home second.
God damn.
Volleyball Princess
I
third.
tried betting Stunner. Thing's still stuck.
Yep.
You got to take that as a win, honestly. I mean, someone saved you from hurting yourself.
All right, we'll go and pivot to Aqueduct, race number 9. Let me get over here, Oldy, and remove this and add you. That's the late double at Aqueduct.
All right.
Matt's eyes and ears perked up. A late double.
No, a big frenzy is why his ears perked up.
Absolutely, and I'm looking at horses on both ends that have a slash in their odds. This is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So what's that one? How bad is that going to be?
The 4-3 double?
The 1-3 is 3. It's 3 something. I mean, this one is the goods. It got pounded in the double, the Grand Slam, the pick 3. I mean, this is another one of these. I know I sound crazy. 1-2 might not even be bad odds. I'm not doing that. That's just not my style. in this sort of format. But I mean, if I'm in a tournament needing to pick up a few $100 on somebody, this is absolutely the kind of horse that would do that.
Yep.
In cash, I get scared. It goes to 1 to 5, and then I just feel stupid. But yeah, that double. So if you put $2 on it, you get back 3. And if that other horse is 1 to 2, you get back 4. So it should pay 225. And it was okay. So I don't. That payout isn't necessarily terrible. 1-3, believe it or not. It's still not. I'm not going crazy on it. So you guys can pick over that one if you want to. But I don't think the 1-3 double's a bad play. But it's got to. If that's your play, that's got to be your only play.
Yeah.
Right.
And now he's 1 to 4. So
Getting hammered.
Oldy, is there anyone in the exacta that's got you interested?
I mean, the 4 is the overlay that's not getting bet. And maybe the 6 on the front end could steal it. I mean, the 6 is 3 of 5 at the distance. Could it steal this race on the front end at a huge price?
Or do you just hear a really creative race call coming down the stretch about there being a bank frenzy, and here comes a general banker? I can kind of hear that.
Is Winstock, was that yeah, that's an old Baffert that's now with Linda. I knew I remembered this horse. I feel like they ran this horse forever. Even though it's not that old.
Yeah, I'm playing this. I'm going to play this double for a few $100, but again, no. That's it. Just one straight punch. That's it.
The 1-3.
Yeah, and not for an amount that I'm going to go crazy for.
Yeah, me either.
It's a sensible play here, and it's a good action play, but I don't feel like, oh my gosh, they're giving away money.
Okay. The race sim says the 6 ain't going to get an easy lead.
Brandon, I just saw your comment. Love it. He wanted the right to bet Lord Byron, if I've got that correct. I want the right to poet, poetamos, poetais. That was the conversation in the jockey club. I think I'll go bet it. That's amazing. I didn't lose.
All right, looking up what's coming up next. So we've got Aqueduct here.
And maybe no, that's 17 minutes away.
Got Gulfstream in 6 minutes. Keeneland, which will be our last race in 25 minutes. And we will get a Remington race in 6.
No, Gulfstream's in 6 minutes.
I show Gulfstream. Yes.
Oh yeah, we've moved wrong on there. You're right. No, mine says 7 minutes.
And looking at that last comment in the chat, if people do want more discussion on doubles and betting strategy and what makes them an overlay, what doesn't, I don't want to just force that crap on anyone, but if that's interesting to anyone, just speak up and we can talk about that stuff between races.
Aqueduct, the win percentage is currently winning at 44%.
The 1-3 double is now up to 3 to 1. Thought that might be interesting to some people in this room.
Yeah.
1-4-7.
Horses are at the gate of post up. 4 race 9. 10th running of the Haynesfield. $125,000. 1 mile.
is the distance.
Should probably check on that Oaklawn contest to make sure nothing crazy is happening.
You're good.
Thank you. I got really lucky there. I don't know if you saw, but despite putting up a big total, a few more people weren't dissuaded from entering, and now there's 2 seats available. So from my standpoint, it's like a lock. I mean, I wouldn't have waded into those waters, but I'm glad some other people did because now there's 2 seats. So there is going to be quite a dogfight between 2, 3, and 4, and 5 for that.
Horses are set to load. General Banker steps forward. Good stop.
Very good. Thank you for saying that.
Okay, here we go with Aqueduct.
All right. So this is the race with the big favorite. Let's just win it normal without any incident.
Bianco. Sheriff Bianco to the outside. Goes in. All set for the Hayes. And they're up. Breaking very well with General Banker in between horses towards the outside. Just step on it. Has early speed too. Sheriff Bianco in the early mix of Radio Red in between horses. At the rail is Bank Frenzy. And Manny Franco will hold that position. Does have real position as they're chasing. Just step on it. Just step on it. Out of the chute is up by a half length. Bank Frenzy.
The opportunity to shut that rail down.
I can't believe he didn't do that to him.
Stalking just off of that.
What's wrong with these people? I swear to God.
Hold out the center of the racetrack, just loping along. Now trying to get out, actually. 24 seconds flat. Easy opening quarter. Bank Frenzy with the neck in front. Just step on it. Back to second. Radio Red. Now more control. Is there.
Watch the Breeders' Cup Juvenile ride on Corniche.
Keep up from fifth.
That is how you cut over on a field and shut off the rail.
Can see them. They move towards 4 furlongs left to go. Bank Frenzy.
Your job is to make it as difficult on everybody else.
Outside is Radio Red.
Especially the 1 to 2 favorite, which you could have just slammed into the rail and make him pull up.
Just step on it.
Yep.
No,
That you're going to finish dead last.
47 seconds flat for that half mile time. Still in hand. Bank Frenzy has a quarter mile left to go. We'll have to hold off Radio Red, who's in full pursuit, but Bank Frenzy looks to have plenty so far. Bank Frenzy is now opening up here, is up by 2.5 lengths, still chasing Radio Red. Also trying to rally on. Here comes a move from General Banker. Bank Frenzy hasn't put this away yet. Radio Red, General Banker's the main danger. Looks like in between horses. Bank Frenzy's.
Where we can't get like it's a run on the bank.
Did we not call that exacta?
General Banker.
Yeah.
And Radio Red.
Yeah, boom.
And hold.
Not worth the horn, but boom.
It was the most obvious call, and he still didn't really do it. It's a Bank Frenzy, and here comes the General Banker. Like, what's the call? My wife knows everything. She doesn't know. And like, I mean, that was one of the best calls ever. This, like, he missed one here.
All right, Oldy, Gulfstream Park, race 10.
And by the way, that double ticked up further. So I did a $300 double, and the will pay is $1,100. So yeah, just under 3 to 1. That's not terrible on a 1 to 2 shot.
Gulfstream Park, race number 10.
The 4 signal caller, late runner, probably has a big look. The 8 is getting fat for Carlos and his David, but stopped at this level last time out. Not in the top picks, not in the top 2 win percentage. I probably would try to beat that horse and maybe look at the 4, 1, and maybe the 2 to sit the trip, maybe right off that speed for Cassie. Taking a big drop, the 2 to me maybe has the look. Did almost win first time out against much better than this group on turf, as well as Ayers picks up the ride. This 2 King Express, who's the long shot, looks pretty good to me.
So, Oldy, are you aware that probably in the time that we've started this show, in 2 hours, you've probably said the words, the look, like 10 times? Could you hear yourself saying that? Like it's just more than normal today. Do you hear that or no?
No, I'm not allowed to say interesting, so I probably just replaced that word.
Okay, no, that's fine.
Rephrased it.
But I picked up you're saying that a bit more than normal. This race, I think, was a maiden claimer and couldn't be a faster, harder pass for me.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way about it. I'm just given an angle that I think potentially could beat the two favorites who are both have been at the level and kind of burnt money. And it is an E long shot, top SOR angle where the top two picks match the something else in the algorithm, so that that's going to win like 28% of the time. The long shot there will.
And I can see Oaklawn has 3 minutes. That's a stakes race. Strong Like Sarah is currently 8-5. EE has it at a 35% win percentage and is the top pick.
Approaching the starting gate. Final call for your
And
wins.
has a significant class advantage on the rest of the field. Everybody else is got to take a step forward or is moving up. I mean, even the 7 faced far easier.
The horses are at the gate. It's now post time. They're moving in for a start. Race number 10. The race favorite is the rail horse, Dimashkra. Jockey Jose Morelos on board for Jose Pinchin. High five pool passing the $30,000 level. Game of power going forward now. Here's Naysayer. Back in business and Amon to the outside. Amon. And the Sunday finale. In the gate. And runners away. On the far outside, Amon was quick to begin. Sent hard between horses is Ariskashi. Ariskashi is marching toward the top. Up on the outside, back in business is now second from Signal Caller, who lands third. Up on the outside, Amon is an early fourth, passing King Express. Then it's Dimashkra. He's third last. Game of Power second last, and Naysayer is last of the 8.
Yo, Chris, I got about 5 minutes to go.
Okay.
Kashi to the backstretch on top by a length from back.
We got one more race at Keeneland and then we're done.
On hold third. Amon plots a wide course in fourth with King Express in fifth. Racing sixth is Dimashkra. Seventh is Naysayer. Eighth and last is Game of Power. The opening quarter complete in 24 seconds flat. They race to the half-mile point. At the inside, Signal Caller challenging for control. Out in the center, back in business. Back to third is Ariskashi. He's called it a day. He's passed outside by Amon, who's 4 better than King Express. Then Dimashkra, hard ridden by Morelos, trying to get him motivated as he's about 7 lengths off the lead while 3 wide. Out the back, Naysayer and Game of Power. 47-3 for the opening half mile. Micah Husbands aggressive in the second quarter with Signal Caller. Now he has to hold firm. Back in business is second, but Dimashkra
is moving.
Good ground after
That's a sustained run.
That one is freaking moving. Jesus. Wow.
11-2. Dimashkra just blew right by him. 1/8 of a mile to go.
Holy shit.
In this field, a pleasant Sunday. Good
Heard you're obviously that horse heard the thing about the mile races.
8-5 on Dimashkra.
I mean, that was completely ridiculous. Oh my God. How good would you feel if you had that?
Yeah, you would be good. Oldy, quickly over to Remington, if we can get this one off. Where are they at?
Are you saying Remington?
I have them listed as off.
They're off. They're done already. So we will skip Remington and go to Santa Anita.
All right, Santa Anita, race 5. The 3 is a big favorite in just about everything, which doesn't seem like the Woodbine way, so to speak, because usually the Woodbine way is to have a big price come in.
Yep.
But does seem to could have a pace advantage. You know, the other horses that are getting bet a little bit probably need a little help on the front end from somebody tiring the 3 out. So I get it. I'd probably say the E picks probably have it here. And maybe the 10 has a little bit of a luck, but these are mostly Golden Gate horses and trainers. You got a low sal horse in the 4.
Yeah, these are lower. For me, these are lower confidence races. I don't mind them. Just it's lower dollars. It's lower. There's certain races I don't mind losing a lot. Certain races I do. This is not the kind of race where I'd feel good losing a lot of money.
No, me either.
Seven gone to favorite at Oaklawn. Track upgraded to good. I mean, like us all, obviously, we're all upgraded to good.
We're all day to day.
But yeah, I mean, I think if the 3 gets the lead, I think the 3 is going to be tough. It's just a matter of whether one of these other cheaper speeds in the 1 or the 8 might be able to give the 3 a run for its money early.
Boy, at Oaklawn, that Caliente Star went to even money. Strong like Sarah, 4-1. I'm sorry, 2-1. That's just that to me is the kind of signal that says get the heck away from this.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's not how that was supposed to go. I don't have a dollar on it, but that feels yucky.
All right, we got the Santa Anita race and then Keeneland in 10 minutes.
See here if they're off at Oaklawn. Looks like 4, 7, or 8. Your 3 favorites.
You got top GSR at Oaklawn at Hawthorne coming up. 0 for 11, maiden claiming $6,000.
7 much the best, so the money was right there.
See, are you watching that 7 at Oaklawn? Jeez.
Yeah, much the best.
Play on bedroom?
So that's what I mean when I talk about, you could use the system, you can do your handicapping. And the top board is showing even money on a horse that you don't think should be even money. You either get on the bandwagon or you get the hell out of there. It's one of the two.
Mm-hmm. It's just like the price at Santa Anita.
The gate for the 5th.
And I don't mind. I'm not embarrassed just getting the hell out of there. Like it at least saved me a loss, which is just fine. It doesn't mean you have to fall in love with the horse that's inexplicably taking money.
The gate for the 5th.
But you got to take heed of that stuff.
Woodbine Way coming up. Roman Empress and Tessa will be next. I'm a Risque Girl.
Thank you for announcing that to us.
That's a funny way to start naming horses, to make announcers
One opening in
say,
the front
I
of the gate.
am,
It's either the 4 Roman Empress or the 5.
I am so ugly.
Risque Girl.
Like, just name the horse that. And he has to keep saying that over and over.
All set. No, they're not. The 4 is behind the gate. Fake news.
Frank, love him.
They cleared the 4 to come back in. And they're off
They're off.
in the Woodbine Way.
Assembled Storm and Daddy Indeed are both out alertly. Woodbine Way is coming through along the inside to take second. O'Neill's Legacy is rushing through now right into the pace. And racing in fourth now is Daddy Indeed with 2.5 to make up. Then Amanda Rose, I'm a Risque Girl, Tessa outside that pair. It's a gap of 4 to spread the risk, and Roses are blue, and another 3 back to Roman Empress. Into the far turn, O'Neill's Legacy, Woodbine Way, and Assembled Storm vying for command. Just in behind them, Tessa will go 4 deep, but right there in the thick of it with a nice bid. And I'm a Risque Girl in the green silks is trying to move up between rivals as O'Neill's Legacy is the first to bow out. 1/4 mile to go, Woodbine Way, I'm a Risque Girl, Tessa on the outside in the red. They're at the top of the stretch, and Woodbine Way hugs the rail and goes on, trying to fend off Tessa, who's 2 lengths back in second. Then I'm a Risque Girl and Roses are blue. They're coming to the 16th pole. Woodbine Way, 1.5 lengths. Tessa's in second. Here's Roses are blue with a late run, but it's a little too late.
3-6-10.
Woodbine Way, that's 3 for Serafin Carmona.
Yep.
Tessa's second best.
Nice try.
Roses are blue.
3 for Serafin Carmona today out of the first 5 races.
3-6-10. We'll take that. No horn.
No
What?
horn.
Huh?
Yeah.
No horn, no corn,
Take it.
as the saying goes.
Nice little wins.
Yeah, you got to pick them up where you can, right?
Not everyone has to be $5,000.
No. Okay, Oldy.
Number 3, Woodbine Way.
The
Get you.
Golden Hornet looks tough in this 4-horse race at Hawthorne, if that's what you're asking me about.
Yeah, we'll go to Hawthorne, and then Keeneland is right around the corner from there, and then we're going to wrap it up for the week.
5-0 somewhere, Ortiz.
And I am going to wrap it up after the Hawthorne race. I have a small double into that 6-horse because of the name. I will probably bet the 1 horse in an amount to break me even on that whole proposition, so that, okay, if Ramsey's wins, great. If not, broke even, fine.
Okay.
The race sim has actually has the Ravelli being upset here. Am I looking at the right Hawthorne race
No,
here?
you are not, because
Why is it showing me?
Ravelli is not going to win this race. I am positive.
You're right, Ramsey's. Or Waylon Richard, whatever it is. But it looks like Ramsey's should.
So should I be hedging on Waylon Richard or just sticking it out on Ramses?
And it is a drop in class. This horse is coming out of Fairgrounds. We've watched a couple Fairgrounds horses win here already.
I like that picture I just saw.
But yeah, if this horse runs back to that Saratoga effort when it was in Safi's barn, I don't see any reason why Ramsey's doesn't make this look like a human mile race.
All right. So I'm not hedging. I'm going to actually hit him a little harder.
Okay.
All right, let's check on these tournaments. Well, we got a second. Oaklawn. Yep, still a healthy lead there. The other one that I didn't do. What? What? So everybody's out. I don't even, who was the guy that had 2 entries that I said was 1 to 5? Was that Darren Schweiger? He is in second still. His other entry blew up. Adam Burgoon, who I think was the other guy that was way up there with him, is ahead in first by a ton. And then there's third place is really far back. So wow, that's a crazy leaderboard update. That is not a. Those numbers were getting much larger, and they all just exploded.
Moves
so
up third. Waylon Richard on the rail fourth. And
What do you need here, Matt?
The early trailer is
Again?
Ramesses as they
What do
move
you
on
need
to
here?
the back stretches. They are being led by
Ramesses,
Malibu
6.
Finale. And up the back stretch they go. Malibu
Yeah,
Finale.
Sylvain Howard blew up,
away,
it looks
Money
like.
Agent second.
I didn't see what he played.
Inside, Waylon Richard is third. Black Russian now moving up third. Far outside, Ramesses 4 wide fourth. Waylon Richard is shuffled back to fifth. And Rayfield is shuffled back to sixth. They have 5 furlongs to go. They're covered by about 7 lengths. On the inside, Malibu Finale, 3 wide is Black Russian. In between those two, Money Agent. And on the far outside,
I like what I'm
Ramesses.
seeing from
Toward
the
the
6
inside, Waylon Richard tracking from fifth, right behind a wall of horses.
Oh,
And
never
soon
mind.
we'll need Ray Searman still trailing Rayfield.
Oh,
Around the turn they go.
Race over.
Still Malibu Finale up on the outside. Ramesses moving up. And now it's Ramesses taking the lead. Malibu Finale is second. Black Russian third. Swinging to the outside for room. Waylon Richard fourth.
Quick
Now
look
third.
between the legs.
Around the turn, they're in the stretch. Ramesses comes off the turn. 3 on top. Now picking up to chase second comes Waylon Richard.
we got a problem.
An 1/8 of a mile to
Yeah,
go.
we do got a
Waylon
problem. That
Richard
horse
moving
got
up to
nothing.
engage Ramesses. And then up to be fourth is make that third is
Oh.
Rayfield. In fourth is Malibu Finale. They're coming to the wire. And it's Waylon Richard in front. Ramesses was second. Then it was Rayfield and Malibu Finale.
Okay, going to Keeneland.
Going
Last.
in the gate right now.
All right, last of the day. One more.
Who do we got here? Anybody?
6, I think the 6, 12 and 1 have good shots here. 1 maybe in an upset here.
All right, we're betting scraps.
From between horses, Strong Quality will come out and take the early lead, followed by Deterministic, who's there to the inside. Warrior Johnny is away running in third. Injunction, close up but
It'll be
wide in
tough for the
fourth.
6
3
without
lengths
getting
off the rail
beat
into the
up.
first turn. And now challenging for third. At a gap of 4 more lengths back to Money Supply, nearly 3 back of that one to Lagginos, who is last. Around the turn they go, and Deterministic against the rail is the leader, has the lead by just a neck. Strong Quality second on the outside by a length. Injunction third to the far outside. Warrior Johnny fourth back toward the inside. And then a gap of 2.5 more
But it
lengths
is
back
been
to Money
slow.
Supply, and 3.5 back of that one to Lagginos, who trails the opening quarter 23.1 seconds. Midpoint of the backstretch, Deterministic leads. Deterministic is leading it by a length and a half. Now Injunction moves to the far outside to take second. Here's Warrior Johnny up the inside third. They move on either side of Strong Quality, who lost 2 positions in that exchange and is now fourth. Money Supply and Lagginos move as a team from the back. It was 46.04 seconds. The time for the first half mile. mile. Deterministic, the leader. Deterministic leads at a length and a half. Warrior Johnny, and then Laginos. Now Laginos closes in on the leader, moves up to the far outside. Had to go about 4 wide around the turn, though. And then Money Supply, who goes to third just to his inside. There's a quarter mile to go as they turn for home. Deterministic still has the lead. Here's Laginos far outside. Money Supply is there between horses. Warrior Johnny back to the inside is in fourth. Money Supply, Laginos bearing down on a stubborn Deterministic who's still there. Now Money Supply pokes ahead in front. There's a 16th to go. Deterministic second, Laginos third. Money Supply is moving on for the finish. Money Supply and Irad Ortiz Jr. to win the nightcap. Deterministic second, Laginos third, and
Irad at 7-1.
Irad at 7-1. There you go.
Yep.
Joe and his sharp.
Joe and his sharp.
All right, I need to bolt quickly so as not to be in trouble. Another super fun day with you guys. Profitable, not crazy like yesterday, but still good. And this Oaklawn tournament should end up solid. So another good day.
And guys, just a reminder, we'll be doing a bluegrass show. Scotty, David, and I live on Tuesday, 12:30 Eastern is going to be the start time.
There we go. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Hit the like, subscribe button on your way out the door. We do all appreciate you joining. And after Tuesday, we will see you on next Saturday. Don't forget to join the coaching classes on EquinEdge.com. Have a great rest of your day, everyone.